Preparing for our Swedish trip, we've invested in some more Airs books. Now, for those who regularly view, we bought all the Airs for France North, France South, and Spain and Portugal, and they worked really well for us last time we travelled over through France and into Spain. And we found Airs that we could stay at really easily. We planned our journey using the map inside those books to just sort of pick a place, choose a number on the map that denoted the Air, have a look in the book, check to see whether that was the sort of place we wanted to go, because that's quite a good description, and then we'd head for that if it was the right place, or choose a different one, and we'd eventually get to the place we wanted to go. And we would use the sat-nav to punch in the grid reference that is listed in the Airs books. So we were very happy when we saw the similar things like this, the Nordic camper guide. I know it says 2017-18, but they're not making one for the current year. But we did also get the BORD atlas for, this is the Stellplatz for 2019. Two books. Not quite sure why there are two books, but they are different. They are like that thick. Oh yeah. Oh, it's Europe and Germany. So EU and Deutsche, I think. So Germany and the EU. I think the EU covers all the different areas, not Germany. The weird thing about these books is that they're not in English, and we couldn't actually get them in English. I've been told that the BORD atlas is available in English, but we've got them now. They're in German. But you know, it is what it is. I think this section, that's probably in French. That's probably France. I haven't looked. Yeah, the places are in French, so that bit's of French. So we won't need that bit. But Belgium. So you get a little map of each region in the start of the section, and you can pick out the number of the Air. I think I've not learned how to use these books yet. Wendy has. She's done the not the BORD atlas. She's not investigated that, because she is the planner and navigator extraordinaire. She does really well at these. But looking through the Nordic camper, the Nordic camper guide, this covers the whole of sort of Sweden and the Nordic areas. So we're most interested in Sweden. So we're looking up the place where we are staying, which is the Stockholm region. Is that, yeah, and I thought it was marked on the page, but it isn't, and I'm struggling to find it now. But this is in again, this is not in English. We do have these the little markers, so the little symbols. We do have these in, I think it's in Danish and Swedish and English and German. So So there's a few languages for the symbols. Things like P, that P symbol there will mean public place rather than parking. So it's a public place. I don't know what that really means. And there's all the other symbols will tell us about what the site is like, because they each have, it's just a random one, so they each have the little symbols along the side and what the facilities are along the bottom. But it is, I mean, as I say, it is in Swedish, so we're having to use Google Translate quite a lot. So one of the good things is we do have a Swedish language resource in our younger son and his wife. So my son speaks fluent Swedish, and of course his wife speaks English as well. She doesn't think she's very good, but she is actually excellent at speaking English. So we've got a little, if we get confused there, we can always refer to family to say, what does this really mean? Because what I noticed when I was using Google Translate to translate some of the words in here, Google Translate does a pretty good job, but on one word, and I can't remember what it was, I added an S to the end and it completely changed the meaning from I think it went from the translation said milking, so I put the Swedish word in without the S, and it said milking, like milking cows, I don't know. And when I put the S in, it was swimming or something like that. It was a weird change from something like milking to something like swimming just by adding an S on, and I don't know why. Maybe that's a bit of a funny thing about Google Translate, that it can't actually do words on the fly and know what you're going to spell out eventually, and maybe it should wait a bit longer before it does a pretty good job, and we really like it. So we're using this, and we have found a lovely place for parking when we get up towards, well, just north of Stockholm, where we'll be staying for a couple of weeks. We can't quite work out whether it's free parking and pay for the facilities, or whether you pay for parking and the facilities come with that. So we're going to get up there, have a chat with the people, because pretty much everybody that's working will speak English pretty well, because that it's taught as their sort of foreign second language in schools. So pretty much everybody, apart from maybe some of the very older generation, who've sort of got out of the swing of speaking a foreign language as normal, which I don't blame them for. But we very easily get by in Sweden with English. Swedish is you need to try very hard to speak Swedish. I did do a little bit of Swedish speaking, but it's a lot of effort, and I think I learned how to say, are you American, or are you English, or are you Swedish, but that was a lot of effort. So I sort of backed off of that. You can't, well, I think I don't have enough time to learn all the languages unless I do it as a full-time job to learn them, so I'm not going to do that, because I need to learn sort of Swedish to cover the Nordic areas, because all the languages are quite similar up there. You get by. I need to learn German to cover the German and English. have very similar words in them. So English is a very Germanic language. French is not so, although there are a lot of words that are similar to English. So French is a bit easier to learn. Spanish, big crossover. It's sort of French English sort of sounding words, but then very different as well. So there's, I could learn Portuguese, Spanish, French, German and Swedish, 5 languages, plus the one I nearly know now, English, and that would cover me for my European travels. Clearly too much effort for me to do that in my mid-60s. I'm not sure how much good it would do me. I'd like to do it, but I don't have a natural talent for it. There we are. I shall say au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye for now, and I'll see you again tomorrow.